Ninja Storm, very early 2000s. First of all, the action, everything, awesome suits. I love the whole fight thing. As I mentioned before, first time I met you was wearing Blue Ninja Storm, which is immediately I was like, I love that suit.
A great suit. I love they have the chainmail mesh that you can see under the gloves and the fabric part, which I think is really cool because, Power Ranger suits, it's armor, but there are very few times when it actually reflects literal constructions of armor. Like the chest shield on the Green Ranger is very armor, and then the same with the White Ranger with the shoulder pads. You have that chainmail thing. Occasionally they'll get armor upgrades, but a lot of times it's really just a tight spandex thing. And I like actually referencing
Yeah.
real armor. It makes it feel less silly when they get blown up wearing it and nothing happens.
Well, cool. It adds a textural element, which you don't get with a lot of suits.
I adore Ninja Storm. I love all the characters. I think they're all incredibly well written. I think Ninja Storm is the first female ranger that I really felt I could see myself in because she's like a tomboy. And I love Blake and Hunter being adopted brothers and that they don't rely on that as a character driving plot point. They mention it once for like half a second. They're just like, we're brothers. And Dustin says, brothers? And they're like, yeah, we're adopted, dude. And then they just never mention it again. And they have an equally strong familial bond as blood siblings. And that's one of my favorite things about Power Rangers is how they deal with adoption and like found family and familial bonds and how like it can be just as strong, which is not common in media. In
No.
media, I feel like adoption is really frequently used as like a plot point to drive forward some kind of character that feels lost or feels like they haven't found themselves or they don't know their roots or some garbage like that. And I feel like the world is really trying to give adopted people a complex, and Power Rangers is counteracting that.
Yeah, and that's the thing Power Rangers has actually done. I think partly because you have so many like main characters in a way, you have the ability to give people some really specific people to look up to, and you also have the ability to mess up a few times, but you can kind of regain back. And you have cameo, son, father want to fight, and then the reveal of fact, oh yeah, by the way, your uncle is the bad guy. Psych. It's just overall great series. I love the whole action adventure. Like everyone has their sport. I love the fact that water. But they also connect to their ranger powers. Like Toru is the literal surfer.
Yeah, and then dirt bikes, earth. I
Yeah,
don't know how skateboarding relates to fire.
I know. I guess if you grind, you can make sparks happen.
Skaters are usually pretty hot. I had a high school friend who was such a skater boy chaser. I used to go hang out with her at the skate park all the time because she would be into a different skater boy every week.
I think I tried skateboarding and just I fell off immediately. I was like, not happening. Stay with the bike. I don't know if we can say much more, and sure we both love it. I did have the actor who plays Dustin is notorious at cons for he will photobomb. He will ask,
Oh,
oh, can I photobomb? And so he actually photobombed a photo I was taking, which is that was one of my favorite moments of him. Just, I want to photobomb. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like you're gonna let him.
duh.
Dino Thunder,
Dino Thunder.
great and very smart series.
I think those suits are sweet. The continuing pattern all the way down the side, including the legs. Like, what is it with so many Power Ranger suits where they just forget the legs? They just don't care. They're like, nah, they have legs too, by the way. I'm like, yeah, can we maybe get a little pattern down there?
Yeah, the suits. I love the yellow Dino Hunter suit and our suit. Or what I want to do. The visors very much being like they're a little probably not easy to see out of, but the whole suits yell Dino.
They really do. And their power up mode, something
Thoracic mode or something.
thoracic, Jurassic, something like that.
Yeah, that.
But that's one of my favorite suit power-ups too, because taking a pre-existing pattern on the suit and just changing it to three-dimensional from two-dimensional is so clever as opposed to like stacking armor on top of what's already
Yeah.
there. Oh yeah, with the spikies, they're so cool.
And also the fact that because the original plan for Newstorm was to be Hexagon, so Tommy Oliver would have been brought back, and he would have been kind of a villain, which I don't really think I would have liked as much. But the fact to bring him back is turns out he's just a normal guy. He just went off, got into dinosaurs for good reason, and became a teacher.
I don't know if he's a normal guy.
I mean, thing is, he appears to be a normal
Okay.
guy. Well,
I'm
that's
just
what I mean.
that he got a job as a race car driver the last time we saw him. Well, I guess Forever Red. He seems to be incredibly rich during Forever Red, which I don't know where that came from. And then we see him again, and he has a paleontology doctorate. Those take like 8 years to get, and it's only been 6 or 7. And dude's like,
To be fair, Power Rangers and getting education timelines, Kendall, which we'll talk about later. Well, he gets a doctorate and then he's like, yeah, when he works on serious research, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go teach at a random high school.
yeah, I'm working with this millionaire on, developing dinosaur mutants on a private island and getting paid big bucks. And when that falls through, I'm gonna go be a high school teacher.
And it was the excuse was, oh, he wanted the quiet life. I'm like, okay, but you have this dino lab in your basement.
I just really want to read Tommy Oliver's autobiography. I want
Honestly, just because there's probably a bunch of stuff we don't know, like stuff he did in between. He's like, oh yeah, and the time I randomly decided, Mount Everest, why not?
I invented something like the toaster or whatever. And you're just like, what the hell, Tommy?
Oh, of course. Then his whole history with Haley.
How are they friends?
They were like they met in college, but somehow like my assumption was must have been a liberal arts institution if a rocket scientist met the
Yep.
paleontology.
Yeah, totally.
Must have been technically our first lesbian character. She was supposed to be revealed as lesbian, and then Disney was like, no. But then it's also cool because then you have this male and female, just genuine friendship.
Exactly. I was so nervous the first time I watched that they were going to get together because they're in the appropriate age range and they spend a lot of time together. And
Right.
I was like, obviously, she comes off as queer and he's supposed to be in a relationship with Kat. It would have been so cheap and like stupid to make them a couple just because you can. And I was really, really happy they didn't throw that in the last episode. Kind of that moment of like, oh, well, we're going to move in together. I was like 90% expecting that to happen, and I was
Yeah.
delighted that it didn't.
Also, they never talked about Kat, which is I don't think they really knew. It was like was Tommy in a relationship with Kat at the time?
They had to have been because
Yeah.
well, I mean, they could have been off again, on again, but like they were together in Turbo and then they're together again when he shows back up in Ninja Steel.
Yeah.
So I feel like they had to have been together, but she's just somewhere else
I was
doing
like, is she getting her own doctorate at that point? Maybe.
probably.
They were like, "Can you get yours and y'all get mine?" Kind of thing. Great series, really well done. Even the annoying people at the newspaper, they get a little bit of redemption at the end.
I think they have one of the best written non-main villain antagonistic like plot arcs. Bulk and Skull have a special place in my heart, but their plot arc is that of Madness. It is that of Fever Dreams. These guys, I feel like how concise it is in its one season. They really put work in, and by the time you get to the end of the show and they make the right choice as an audience member, I really felt like they would have made that choice, not just that that was what the show wanted them to do.
Right. Yeah, it felt genuine. They're like, hey, we've learned, a lot through this. And in fact, even the Rangers were a little surprised. They're like,
Yeah.
oh.
You're actually decent people now? How did that happen?
Well, and then even the characters like, Connor ends up with the environmentalist after being kind of a jerk earlier. Like, it's not a great series for character development.
I gotta admit, I don't like Ethan, Connor, or Kira. I don't like how they're written. I think that in comparison to the rest of the show and how great some of the side characters and background characters are, I just feel like they really rely on the repetition of core joke with them, where they're
Right.
like, Connor Jock,
Yeah.
Ethan Computer, Ethan Computer, Kira Music.
Yeah, and they even like switched that one random episode where they kind of swap them around.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And then also, of course, throwing Tommy in a suit for most of the show was
I mean, that was because he had it in his contract that he would be able to leave set to go spend time with his family.
yeah, which is completely understandable. Also, great look back episode, well done.
So well done.
You have Tommy, you're gonna do that. Another transition, dinosaurs to hey, magic is the thing.
Oh no, it's SPD.
Oh yeah, no, duh.
Which
Right.
is still like
Oh,
a
no,
huge gap.
well, no, it's so funny because I'm going through. Oh, I'm going through this list to remind myself, and the person has done it chronologically by like the year and so that makes sense. SPD, yeah,
So at future cops,
future
they're freaking immigration officers. It's so
It's a series that
so bad.
you couldn't.
I love that.
You could not do it now.
I love it. It's a fantastic season. I love the characters. I love the writing. I love the suits. I love the style. But oof, man, it is rough sometimes. And there are some moments where like Piggy points out to them, they're like, oh, why are they always afraid of us? And he's like, well, to them, you're the bad guys because you're constantly arresting them for no reason. And they do have the episode where Bridge suspects the person who looks human over the person who looks like a monster. But I don't think that's really enough to redeem the fact that they are literally like, anytime someone comes to Earth without proper immigration papers, they must go to jail because they are evil.
Jack,
No,
who well, formerly guy who would give out clothes, tries to arrest the gal who is literally doing that and is
yeah, Robin
legit.
Hood.
But I'm just like, dude, that's like a weird turn.
Why does he even do that? I would
Um,
think he would go over and be like, "Hey, this is too obvious. You should get out of here because I don't want to arrest you." But he's so corporate at that point.
I mean, I love the suit. Suits are cool. I love the fact that the numbers, even if you're kind of like, so do the women become blue?
They should. If it's really a rank-based color system, then when Sky goes to red and Bridge goes to blue, then Sid should go to green and Z should go to pink. And they need a new yellow.
Well, no, I thought it wasn't Z four.
Oh,
He's four, Sid's five, so it'd be yellow to green.
so Z would be green and Sid would be yellow.
And they'd have to get a new pink. I will say my favorite suit of the whole series though is Cat Ranger.
Oh my God. That was one of the first suits I ever wanted to cosplay, and the fact that I still haven't done it is a crime.
Same.
I think that's the next thing. I really need to dedicate my brain power to figuring out how I want to do that and have it look good.
If you start doing that, I'm gonna try and do it at the same time.
Okay.
Let's make this challenge. You and I will show up as a double Cat Ranger power.
I'm into it. We could film the process and make a mashup video of what we're working on.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm down. I think that'd be fantastic. I think it'd be really fun. Yeah, no, that was in it for me. Also, one of the first suits where I was like, oh my god, super underutilized. Cat also as a character, super underutilized. Fantastic. So much sass. I think that's part of the reason I love her. I just loved how much sass she brings. She's like, oh my god, y'all are ridiculous. I'm
She
like,
gets like one unmorphed fight scene and she does the whole like cat thing and like hisses at the camera. And that would have been a really cool recurring fight style, which I would have liked to have seen more. And I would have loved to have seen her suit more. And I know they're basing what they do off of what footage they have available from the Sentai, but man.
well, it is funny because like the suits I really love that and the Nova Ranger, who also was in it for like I love both those suits, and of course the two suits are like barely in it.
Follow up buddy season with just Cat and Nova.
Honestly, I'd down. I'd do. It'd be like I'd love like a buddy cop. Yeah, some like weird, strange adventure one. I'd be definitely down. Of course, then we didn't know who actually played Nova in that one part until someone figured out I was a makeup artist in like the past year or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, someone actually figured out, and so then the person on there, so I'm like, oh, so I guess it's been revealed. Yeah, this is me.
Voiced by the same actress who plays Claire in Mystic Force, but it's not the one who does the face. I messed that up in a video where I was talking about people who've played more than one role in Power Rangers because I looked it up and it said it was that actress. And then I just assumed I couldn't recognize her because she has brown hair in one and blonde hair in the other one. And then it turns out like, no, it's two completely different women. It was just her voice is the
Yeah,
actress who plays Claire.
Noemi Elise Marsh, who's the script supervisor. So she's like,
Nice.
"Hey, congratulations, And then Kevin Duffy was actually who played Sam in his adult Sam, which the whole Sam thing was kind of cool. But then they put him into an orb the whole time. We're like, come on.
I don't know. It is a little overdone, but I kind of enjoy the idea of different physical forms for Rangers. It's almost like a different aspect of diversity, even though there are no people in our world right now who are trapped in orbs. But I did like them interacting with him and him being just different than, a
Yeah,
humanoid.
that's true. Yeah, and just Tommy being in the suit the whole time, which must have been a pain in the butt to try and sleep in.
How was that working with going to the bathroom and eating? We don't need to know.
Just like things that many questions. It's like the Cars universe. You just don't ask. You're not supposed to ask questions. All right, now we go to
Magic.
Magic. So you got police to Magic, which is probably why there wasn't a crossover between the two of them.
Dinosaurs, police, magic.
Yeah, they're just like, why not?
Mystic Force is another example of actually including the legs in the design, the black and gold lines that go all the way down, and I really, really love them. This is some of my favorite suits.
Yeah.
Again, with like the difficulty of seeing through the visor, but I don't even care because of like having the shape of a mythical creature as your visor is so cool.
This is another one of those series where like especially Madison's suit was one of the ones. This is before I realized I was trans as trans as I am. I was like, wow, I really like that. I really like suit. I like, it's one of the only ones with cape. Is it the only one with capes?
The only season where all the Rangers have capes. The Magna Defender has a cape and the Zenith Ranger
Right.
have cape. I mean, the Magna Defender's debatable as to whether or not he's an armored ally or a Power Ranger, but the Zenith Ranger does have a cape.
Yeah, and it works for the fact it's magic. It's the cloak.
It gives it that bit of whimsy, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It feels like something that you see at a Ren Fair.
Yeah, I should
Um,
wear a Ren Fair. That'd be fun.
yes, do it. Also, I love Odana's suit.
Oh my God. With the big shoulder armor piece that goes around her arms
Yeah,
reminds me of those 50s, 60s, like off the shoulder, fancy
yeah,
dress there
yeah.
to like a cocktail bar. And she has a staff.
The extra rangers that series have are all like armored, and so
Hmm.
she gets her own armor. Like even her skirt's armored, and it's just like it feels like she is. She's like this. She feels so powerful, and she's the first ranger we see in
Yeah.
the suit, which is cool. Yeah, I love it. Also, Vita being the obvious like
Oh my God, yes. Love it.
bisexual. I love her.
I definitely think she ends up with the Mr. Pom Pom head. I
One
just they
that
have
1000%.
like he's behind her DJ booth at the end and they're vibing together. I'm like, Vita would not let anyone behind the DJ booth. They have something going on there. There's something there.
I do love the fact that you had like the very strict sister and then the very chaotic. I love the chaotic. Like they're very much sisters, but they're exactly the way sisters would be.
Yeah, it's like the quiet, introverted, super mild, and then just like chaos monster.
Yeah, just like, oh, here's everything. Yeah, it's like kind of me with my siblings, like the normal ones, and then me. Great series. And the whole town gets together at the end. Powers in all of us, which is great, really great message. Also, magic, because magic is awesome.
I do honestly, I know everybody hates the cell phone morphers. I think I have a weak spot for the cell phone morphers. Something about them is too fun. Flipping it open and pushing the buttons and it makes a little sound. I don't know.
That's the like fun morphers. It's also a morpher that makes sense. You can hide it.
I mean, they are definitely very corny, but they're just fun. And Power Rangers is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't necessarily need like even in the more serious series, there's always those moments of it's supposed to be it's a kid show. We have to remember that at the end. Which then people are like, it needs to be a lot more adult. I'm like, dude.
If you want to write more character development and have more like serious plot arcs, that's fine. But Power Rangers does not need to go DC.
Right.
DC movies do so much worse than Marvel movies because they have no fun. They're just like, I'm depressed and everyone's dead and it's too dark and you can't see what's going on, grungy. And I'm like, oh yeah, just
Well,
do
well,
anything
I
else.
mean, basically, DC, go back to Bad and West Batman.
That might be a little too far back. I
That's right.
those are really fun, but I just think there's this realization as like a person who comes up with scripts that even in really sad or really serious situations, human beings are incredibly diverse and your brain reacts to things differently. And there can be situations where like you could be joking or laughing while something really horrible is happening because it's a coping mechanism or, you get distracted. And everything is not always as straightforward as DC puts it to be, where it's like everything's dirty and everyone's in a bad mood. And it's like that 100% of the time. And you're like, it isn't though.
Marvel does really well is the fact that, even in the serious Marvel movies, you'll still have the moments where you're just like, you're head over heels laughing because it is.
There's still comedy moments.
Yeah, well, one way to say is for every sky, there's a bridge.
Yes, Sky is definitely Batman in his heart.
Yeah, the whole thing was like, whose is that actually? Overdrive.
I loved it. I know it's like I feel like most Power Rangers is more like early tweens level, and then Overdrive's more kind of like single digits. Like it's really kind of dumbed down to an incredibly cookie cutter, super childish, simplistic writing style, but that's still like really fun. Being able to guess what's going on and everyone being just super like basic, and I don't know, I loved
My
it.
my issue, besides the weird metal bits on the shoulder, I always thought was designed. My issue is that it didn't have a big enough budget. Like they wanted to do. I love the idea of the globe-trotting adventure, Indiana Jones kind of thing, but they just didn't have the budget to accomplish it.
Yeah, definitely. I do love that they go different places on the globe because I always wonder when watching Power Rangers, like, do monsters only ever attack in California? Like, have they ever attacked
Yes.
anywhere else? And having a show, it's much more realistic in that sense that, like, oh, if they're going to be attacking one place, they're going to be attacking another place if there's something they want over there. But you're so right. The sets that they go to represent different geographical locations are oftentimes like really, really simple, like
Quarries.
point a camera at it from one direction, put a little bit of stuff in the background, and just say, I'm in Egypt. Uh-huh. Sure.
It's really too bad because I've read like the Yellow Ranger series super super sweet. Series gets a lot of hate, which is fair in some ways, but also in some ways like
I think saying that you don't like something is fair, but the amount of hate that Overdrive gets is really annoying to me because I know that some people actually really like it, and I would never want to be the kind of person that is ragging on something so hard. A person would be embarrassed to tell me that they like it because they
yeah,
think I'm going to
exactly.
judge them and be mean to them. And
Yeah.
I've noticed that with Megaforce fans, Turbo fans, and Overdrive fans. They are scared to say they like those things because they don't want to get bullied by everyone. And
Which
I
is
think that
we'll get to Megaforce in a bit, but yeah, no, it's definitely like I actually I have a soft spot for Overdrive because it would come on TV as the Dino Thunder Overdrive Power Hour essentially. I will always have a soft spot for Overdrive. The suits, I'm not as much a fan of the design. But I'm not saying the fact that like, oh, if you like suits, they're just not high up on the list of like this was a really cool design.
something about them feels really reductive in a way. And I think that there are no points on them. So
Yeah.
something about, I don't know, they seem very sort of round and malleable and nondescript.
Yeah.
I mean, they get the job done. I don't really love them, but
They're
they
just
work.
they're not like they're not be like my top 10 suits, they wouldn't be on it. Can we go from expeditions to basically we always love ninja things, so Jungle Fury. I love the suits.
Oh my God, yes. Some of my favorite suits. Same thing with the more of a side pattern, like with Dino Thunder. It doesn't go all the way down on all of them,
No.
right?
Not
No,
on Yellow Ranger, it does not go all the way
I
down.
think it's just like kind of getting smaller as it goes down, and most of them stop
Yeah.
at a certain point, maybe right past the hip. But it feels like it pulls all the way down to the leg because they don't have belts. So it makes the suits seem longer and it makes the pattern seem like it goes farther. But I definitely feel like that is a suit that utilizes more of the figure and doesn't feel like they were just pretending that there are no legs there.
Right, yeah, and the lack of belt is actually pretty unique.
Yeah, it's
Um,
the only one.
yeah, you're right. It's the only one.
And the shoes. It's the only one where they don't have knee-high boots. They have those little, they look like Uggs. They're like little poofies.
Honestly, great suits. I really, I love the characters. It's a case in their case we have like the Red Ranger being this inexperienced one, but they actually embrace that and they actually have like Theo go and have a training montage essentially and everything.
Well, and that is a show where like meant to be the leader is developed well, as opposed to like Wild Force, where Cole comes in and he's meant to be the leader just because he's red, and you never feel like he's doing a better job than Taylor could be doing, and it feels very forced. Whereas with this one, everyone reacts when Casey gets the role, even though he's a first year student and, doesn't even have access to his animal spirit and doesn't know how to use the weapons and all that stuff. But watching him develop and watching how he handles being the leader and how he comes into his own, it feels like that was his destiny. The powers, like Master Mao and the grid, saw something in him that does end up being a huge benefit to the team, and they are better off with him as the leader than they would have been
Okay.
with Jared.
And you have RJ, who's just like the most chaotic good mentor in history.
RJ, a literal werewolf.
Yeah, the literal where. Well, then you have, and also you have this for side characters. You have Fran, who kind of tries a little annoying at first, but then she's a side character who has a huge amount of growth and ends up literally like saving RJ's life, essentially.
Yeah, she's one of those characters where like she's underestimated a lot as a powerless side character, but I really think they couldn't have done it without her.
No, she's one of those characters where like if you were to have gone through and given side characters ranger powers in like a season of their own, she would be, I don't know why, I feel like she'd be an orange ranger. I don't know why. She has the vibe.
Yeah, well, and they have the orange hats, the
Yeah,
jungle.
that's probably why.
Another instance where I was really happy that they didn't put two characters together just because they were together a lot and a man and a woman, just so like freaking heteronormative and they do it all the time. But I was scared that RJ and Fran were going to get together after the episode where she like talked to him and put their hands together because he's a wolf and she was trying to calm him down. And I was like, "Oh, come on. Like I don't feel it. Don't force it." And then they were just friends. Like they just
Well,
remained friends for the rest of the season, and she got another romance, someone who actually had chemistry with her character.
well, no, even though Lily and Theo get together at the end, it's done in a really, I thought it was a really sweet way of Theo being this like master thing, but just doesn't really know how to express his feelings. But he's doing so in a very not creepy way. He's just like, oh, hey, and then she's just like, I've been waiting for you. And it's one of those. It's like it feels very nice. It feels like yes, these two were meant. It makes sense, but he's not. He's doing. He like you can tell it's like a really difficult thing for him to be like, express his emotions because he's just not used to that. And then for her to respond so well, it's just like, okay, this makes sense.
I liked in that too, the main romance wasn't the Red Ranger getting the girl, which actually, as you look back, it isn't always the Red Ranger who gets the girl, but it does kind of feel that way. I guess probably just with Andros and Ashley kind of making it feel, I guess, well, Jen and Wes, but even with other people sometimes being the subject of the romance, I feel like the Blue Ranger never really got his day until then. Like the Blue
Well,
Rangers,
no, he's Green Ranger in Lightspeed.
yeah, Joel and Miss Fairweather.
Yeah, you're right. Blue Ranger. Blue Ranger's always been an interesting position because it's always
Well, I guess Tori has her romance with
or
Blake.
Blue Rangers are always probably one of the most interesting roles in Power Rangers. Yellow Ranger, you don't really have an archetype that is a Yellow Ranger. Like you're literally all over the place. Pink Ranger tends to be a little more the feminine, except for Vita. But Vita's whole thing is she's rejecting that. Blue Ranger, you're kind of like the slight chip on the shoulder, kind of second in command
Feel like
sometimes.
they're kind of made to be the support character. Like they're so busy either being like super strong or super intelligent to give tech support or to, be the muscle behind the team that they don't get as much time to develop their own personal needs. They're just kind of constantly holding up the rest of the team.
Yeah, that is pretty much that's exactly how I feel. RPM, which is another show that was like, okay, Power Rangers is ending, so let's make this post-apocalyptic, and oh, by the way, everyone's dead.
And also, I've never seen the Sentai it's based on, Go Onger, but everyone tells me that Go Onger is very comedic and goofy, which actually makes sense if you look at like the way the suits are designed. Like the yellow is the bear. One of
Yeah,
them's a bear. It has like a little button nose on their helmet.
yeah.
And the Zords having the big googly eyes and being like cartoon characters, basically. It's interesting to take that and be like, it's the apocalypse. You're like, what?
Yeah, and also the way it was filmed and everything, especially the first part of the scene, which was a different writer. Supposedly, the ending was supposed to have the Black Ranger actually be the villain, which I think would have been really interesting and maybe a little dark for a kid show.
And also, they were going to make Tanaya the Pink Ranger, right? So it's going to be kind of like a swap. Like she becomes good, he becomes bad. Totally changed it.
Totally changed it. Fantastic series, honestly.
Yeah, one of the best written character development seasons. The fact that everybody gets their own plot arc episode, except for Dylan.
Because well, that was because he was supposed to.
He has amnesia and he was going to become the bad guy.
Well, and the whole fact that you have the mentor figure you don't see for a while, and yeah, by the way, it turns out she's the person who created this.
Mm-hmm.
You actually feel really, you don't feel like you feel bad for her. It's like, wow, yeah, no, like
Yeah,
this for really good reason.
yeah, she's a product of her own environment and the system. It's not her fault.
Also, the civilian jackets. I want
Uh,
one. I want one of those RPM jackets so badly.
have one. It's hanging right over there.
Nah, it was green.
Yeah, I made it though. I just got a leather
Oh, it's
jacket,
cool.
painted it with leather paint.
Oh, I should just do that. I know Luca jackets does. Those loose jackets are awesome. They're like so expensive.
Oh yeah. The all like Sentai jackets and the one you just mentioned, oh, you look at them and you're just like, oh, it's beautiful, it's amazing. And it is way more money than I currently have.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love my. I have like 5 or 6 leather jackets. So I not that I need another one, but I kind of do.
You can never have too many leather jackets.
And that's true. I definitely have them for like the motorcycle jacket, but I got this one for $5 there. It's a lot slim fit, it's kind of cute. So yeah, RPM, great series. Even though at the end you're like, okay, so how are you? You kind of wonder, is there other dome cities? Are you now gonna?
Yeah, because Dr. K is kind of an unreliable narrator in the opening title where she says the last place on Earth that we can be safe is the Dome City of Corinth. You know, that's what she thinks, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's true because there could easily be other places on the planet where people built like
Well,
refuges.
and maybe just like they're in, let's say North America, but it turns out the rest of the world is able to limit it to North America. So the rest of the world's doing okay.
I
But
mean, other than Scotland, because Flynn's from Scotland.
oh, yeah, that throws. Maybe Australia's fine.
I mean, it could have been Europe, America, and then maybe somewhere over China, Japan, Australia. Maybe they handled it better.
Also, wow, like Earth comes back really quick. I don't know how long after it is Vengeance gets destroyed, but like, oh, the world's all good now.
Not long because Dr. K is like essentially the same age.
Oh,
I
that's a
mean,
good point. Yeah.
she's probably like the difference of like 15 to 17 or something.
Jem and Gemma, both fantastic.
Oh, I love them so much.
Great suits. I do like the girl power episode. I definitely am a big fan of that one. But then they actually had one that was it was the behind the scenes episode. But
Yes.
everyone was in character. No other series did.
That was to cover the transition from one director to another director, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they
yeah. Writer, I
realized
think.
we don't have plot. I love that too because I love behind the scenes stuff and getting to see them work on the stunts. But it's also hilarious them talking about doing the stunts while in character is so. The characters are doing stunts. Wait, so is none of this really happening, or is it really happening? I don't know.
I would love to hear the actors' impressions. They probably had a blast filming this. They're probably like, this is gonna be fun. It genuinely feels like everyone's having a really good time filming that one.
That's also interesting. RPM, I feel like, is the season where more of the actors have actually gone on to have recognizable acting roles.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, they've gone off and done some pretty maybe because they were given more space to do a little more with
Yeah,
that.
I mean, Eka Darville, the Red Ranger, and then Rose McIver, the Yellow Ranger, both are in like lots of stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, well then Rose McIver got like because a lot of times you don't see them ever having their own series after. But then she had the zombie
I Zombie.
she was a zombie autopsy person one, which
She's also in the one where the reporter marries the prince, a prince for
yeah.
Chris or something. And there's like four of those.
As a side note, the one who played Jen is now on all like in a ton of those Hallmark ones, which is
Yes.
hilarious.
I always imagine when I start to see someone in a bunch of Hallmark stuff that as an actor, it must be really nice to get signed by Hallmark because, you're not making the big bucks, but at least you're getting work as an actor and there's a guarantee that you're going to get a certain amount. Probably not enough to live, but, it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I
but
see her every while and I'm always excited.
I want her to show up because I do have her leather suit, which I'm continually improving. I just made the gun actually out of
Nice.
PVC pipe.
Yeah, I love that suit. I want to do that one too.
I mean,
Her hair, though, is like
yeah,
wild.
the hair, yeah, just like I don't know how to do it. Yeah,
They like whirled it
it's
individually.
I think it's like dreadlocks. The
Okay.
Morphine Museum, by the way, shout out to Morphine Museum. Y'all are fantastic. We love you. They actually post some behind the scenes of that, and so it goes a lot of that suit, which was super useful when I was constructing it. So Morphine
Check that
Museum.
to myself too.
I
Morphine
will
music.
I will send it to you. Morphin Museum, y'all are rad. We're glad I'm glad you got a bunch of stuff from the auction. Samurai, which is interesting.
Confession, the seasons I have not yet watched are Samurai and Megaforce.
I have seen bits and pieces. I don't think I've watched complete, but a lot of times when I was writing stuff in college, I'd throw it on in the background. I know enough of it. Suits are very cool,
They are really nice. Very sleek.
very sleek, impossible to see out of. Like this is probably one of the worst culprits of it.
Little itty bitty kanji lines. Yeah.
Cool idea, but also like, okay, you just don't want them to see, apparently.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume at this point that there's some sort of grid power that allows them to like clairvoyantly see through the suit.
Yeah, like it's almost like the helmet's not even there. It's Power Rangers. That makes so much sense. Interesting series. First female Red Ranger in a way.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the A Squad Red Ranger in SPD
Oh,
is,
that's true. Main team.
but yeah, she's in 2 episodes, I think. And then Lauren actually is in like 5 episodes, which isn't a lot better, but it's a little bit better.
We're like, we're getting there slowly. I don't have much to say. I mean, interesting concept. I think they were the first Neo Saban. The first one, you're always kind of like trying to figure out how is this going to work.
The Neo Saban era is really interesting. That's when they started doing like flashback episodes as
Right.
filler for like Halloween and Christmas episodes. And I do feel like Saban really wanted it to be like a cookie cutter, same formula for every season. Cut as many corners as you can, get it done as fast as you can, save as much money as you can. But I really, really like the second two of the Neo Saban era, which I have seen. I like the formula.
Sometimes it's
So
nice to have a formula where just like you know what you're going to kind of expect to see when you sit down. Megaforce.
Megaforce suits are pretty dope. I like the
Oh yeah.
pirate look.
I like both sets of suits. Like I love the fact they're totally different.
The first one is more like Sergeant Pepper's suit, and then the second one's more like a
Yeah,
pirate, like Pop
yeah, yeah.
Collar. Both cool.
Both cool. Love all the actors and actresses in that show have been super great. I've had really great interactions with Sierra Hannah. My biggest disappointment with Super Mega Force was that, and I think this is most fans like the legendary battle was awesome. It didn't feel it now had enough lead up to it. Red RPM never got out of the suit. I'm like, okay.
I definitely have heard a wide range of complaints about the legendary battle. And I've heard that especially if you're just a general tokusatsu fan and you watched the Sentai before you watched Megaforce, it's more of a letdown because it's handled better in the Sentai. It's still really cool to get everybody there, and they did get some actors back.
Yeah, the writing, I think the writing of the series just wasn't really where it needed to be. If I could redo Super Mega Force, that'd be the series where you have Mega Force is completely separate, but then you'd have Super Mega Force be the one where you brought the secondary characters and given them the Ranger suits. I think that would have been a really great opportunity to get like Fran into a suit, to get Haley Zucker into a suit. I think there was a lot more that could have been done with it. I think
Yeah.
that's the problem a lot of people have is that it was still a good series, really nice background series, but it could have you had the opportunity and could have been a lot more.
The missed potential. It's hard not to be disappointed.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's like missed potential of that series is just like you had it in your hands. Dino Charge.
This is my favorite season. I love the huge team. I love getting all the character interactions between such a wide range of people. I think my favorite thing about Power Rangers is watching the team develop and watching the team dynamic work out and watching people who are forced into this situation together having to like figure out how they're going to interact and figure out whether or not they want to argue or they want to be friends, and like the team dynamic and the character development is really my favorite thing in the show. So Dino Charge has a lot of that.
Dino Charge knocks it out of the park. And for me, it's definitely, I think I have a slightly different perspective on it just because I'm a museum professional. Is that Kendall is like probably might be my favorite character in all of Power Rangers. First of all, love the actress. She's pretty young to have a doctorate
Yeah, she's
and
what,
be head of a museum. I'm like,
22 when they filmed?
yeah, she's 22, head of a museum. I'm like, museum people are like, I love her. I love her character. And I was actually telling her, I'm like, because I was watching it and I'm like, I felt like the person who wrote that character knew museums because she says stuff that I've said. One particular one is, this is a history museum, not an art gallery. And I'm just like, I feel like I've said that. I think that's why it was one of the first suits I went for, was just because I have kids come and say, oh, you're a power now. I want to be a museum person. So in a weird way, that series did a lot for making museums look cool. Kendall, literally probably my favorite character, period. And that's saying a lot.
Dino Charge was the first season I watched, and I only thought there was one season because on Netflix they usually would have season one, season two if there were two seasons. But since it was Dino Charge and Super Dino Charge, they had them in separate places. And so I got to the end and Kendall became a ranger, and then the show was over, and I was like, she only got to be a ranger for one episode? I wanted to see more of that. And then realizing that there was a second season, and like I think she calls the morph in the first episode, the group morph
Yeah.
of season two, and then does like some really cool slide with like a weapon and is doing it. And I was like, oh yes, this is it. This is what I wanted. I'm so glad it exists.
I love the fact they had basically had her helmet off as much as they could. I think probably because the actress is frick gorgeous. But it's just like she's the character who just like she might be the character that has her in suit but helmet off for more than like any other.
Could be, yeah.
One question I do have, because she, character with glasses, is she actually wearing her glasses under the helmet, or does the helmet have corrective lenses?
Do they show? I know they really fell back on the like Iron Man inside the helmet trope for the next season. And I'm trying to remember if they ever did that in Dino Charge. And I'm wondering,
There's at one point down Charge where she puts the helmet on and she's wearing her glasses. That doesn't say if the glasses are still on underneath or.
because there's the theory that the morphin grid corrects your body to its ideal, which is why people change heights
Yeah.
or, people's heads change shape in the situation of Doggy Kruger. So, I mean, if that is the truth, then I would think it would just give you 2020 vision.
Yeah,
Um,
that probably that's legitimately makes the most sense. Now, admittedly, Ninja Steel I have not seen as much. Thought the suits are cool, very ninja. What are your opinions on this?
I love it. I understand why people don't like it, but it is very much my brand of like writing character development style. It's very flashy. I really love that one of the Power Rangers is a magician, like a close-up magic magician, not a wizard magician like in Mystic Force. But yeah, I don't know. I think Ninja Steel is really kind of slept on as a season because people pick like one thing they don't like about it. But if you look at it like Sarah, the Pink Ranger is the genius on the team, which actually Shelby was the genius on the team in Dino Charge. So I love that. Not only that it's a female character, but that also it's the like girly one. I mean, like the first episode, I knew I was gonna love it because Sarah comes to school on a hoverboard skateboard that she invented, which is like theoretically impossible at that point in time, and then yells at a bully for ruining Preston's magic trick and says he has to apologize. And I'm like, this is it. But I mean, there are certain things that could have been really great in that they didn't develop as much. Like Brody hasn't been on the planet for 10 years because he was kidnapped by aliens, and then he comes back and starts going to school right away. And I feel like there could have been more jokes or development around him not being familiar with Earth culture anymore and struggling to readjust. But they one episode and they were like, nah, he's fine now. He knows everything. He knows slang. He's good. And I mean, the villain thing, while like it's kind of fun to have it be a reality show where villains try to get their powers from them, it's also kind of stupid. So it's kind
That,
of like
that was a really I was like that's one way to do it.
it just doesn't feel like a believable enough reason for them not to send everyone at once. And that's kind of always the thing with Power Rangers is like, why didn't the villain send all the monsters at once instead of one every week? Because then you would actually get what you want. And usually it's because they're arguing or because there's, a certain amount of power it takes to send a monster. That one is like, I just don't buy it. I don't
I
buy the
think
politics of why you.
SPD did the best because there was actually like he was these missions were to acquire certain things in order to get the big thing, which I think SPD is one of the few that did it really well. Ninja Steel, I was like, that's.
But like SPD, the fact that he's like coming to wage war and it's the process of him preparing and getting closer to actually like lay siege to Earth, it
Yeah.
makes way more sense.
Yeah,
Like,
Ninja Steel. Yeah, it's one of the ones I haven't seen as much of. Also, the character guy, actor who plays Boom, finally gets a Ranger suit,
yes,
which we
Mick,
love. Great guy, fantastic human being. All right, then we get to Beast Morphers, which
which I freaking love.
I'm not as big fan of how they did with the morphing grid. Like, I was like, okay, now you're harnessing power from the morphing grid, but like,
It's a huge can of worms to
yeah,
say, I'm going to take this thing that every villain has always wanted and bottle it as a juice, which is what the mayor says at the beginning of the show, or someone says when they're interviewing him or something. That it's like, isn't this going to put a sign on you, a target to get every villain in the universe to come? Because this is what the villains have always wanted. It's also kind of a plot hole that they don't mention Morphex again after Beast Morphers.
yeah, that's a good point. Well, then also at the end of Beast Morphers, they're like, oh, everything we're gonna go wind power now.
Well, it was a bad idea, so just stop doing it and do windmills.
Suit design, I actually really like these suits. They don't feel like any other suit. Feels like almost regular clothing in a way.
Yeah, well, and they're really cool, and I know we're conditioned to think like motorcycle outfits are cool, but they are like the leather suits, and they still have the helmet that I like, which is the animal helmet. Oh my God, the Yellow Ranger with the little bunny ears, and she's in a leather jacket, and I just
Honestly, that'd be like the Yellow Ranger outfit is something I would wear out. Because like thinking about the helmet, I'm like I could see that being like a really genuinely cute outfit to wear.
I have that one.
Do you have it like? Did you is it one of the ones you made, or do you like?
Yeah, so I just got a skirt and a pleather jacket and painted the silver stripes on and then made the
No.
buckly thing. And it's really comfortable to wear because the ability to separate the shirt from the leggings makes it so that you can function like a normal person because you are not sealed into a suit that zips at the back and goes over your entire body. So you can go out to eat or go drinking and not, go to the bathroom and be gone for 35 minutes and come back crying.
Well, so I will say actually because Easy Cosplay they actually do their like with the at least the female suits it's like a dress and separate leggings and so like I think I have like you can see like these are the Pink Ranger ones so like it's actually like this is legitimately basically a pair of pink leggings and then it's a separate dress and that's with both this one as well which is I don't know, I was like kind of confused at first I was like oh I don't know if but then I realized after I'm like no this actually makes a lot of sense and it makes it better for going to cons and of course they're the pants are like they're high waist so it looks like it's one complete as you saw in the picture I posted Pink Ranger it looks like it's one complete suit but it doesn't have to be I'm pretty sure it's not that way when it's like the male suits.
I want to figure out how to make a male version of one of the cosplays and have it be pants and a top, but hide the seam with the belt. Because that would be so much easier than the full
Well, I
suit.
mean, one thing I've seen done like with the Wonder Woman cosplay was that actually have the belt be part of the pants or part of the shirt. Well, like yeah, with my Wonder Woman, the belt of the Wonder Woman is actually built into the upper corset. And so then because I'll send you pictures of the fact that like the skirt, it's not it's like just it fits underneath it. So that might be
I
one way to do it.
Yeah, I think I need to talk to you every time I am trying to come up with how to make a cosplay because that literally just blew my mind.
So
That's genius. Because then the belt would not slide around and show the seam.
here's the thing like for me I'm constantly my mind is just like how do I make this easier on myself and that's typically how I will always look for the easiest solution to do things and that's really useful especially given I work as an archivist and having that be an ability is really nice because say I need some random document I'm like okay well I have to go to this particular place let's just make it easier myself if I need to tell someone how to get to something, make my life. There's no harm in making things easier for yourself.
Yes, I
But
agree.
I will send you pictures of the Wonder Woman suit so you kind of get an idea. And now we are at the Dino Fury Cosmic Fury line. I love it.
I wasn't sold on Dino Fury for maybe like the first 5 episodes. And I think that's just a result of like the writers and the actors needing to get into a groove. Because by the time you get to season 2, those characters are like clicking and
Right.
they've all got it locked down. But it's as soon as like Izzy and Javi show up, that show just 5 Ranger team, everybody's making jokes. We have a wide range of characters. I love the suits. I think they're super cool.
Super, they're out there, they're in your face. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the instead of a square chest shape or circular chest shape, incorporating, the whole chest and having like that cool lightning bolt zigzag is really, really cool.
First Queer Ranger,
Yes. I
which
mean, cannot first canonically.
canonically, that's true.
I'm so excited they did that. I know like the culture in what we are willing to show in media is changing, but I'm still stuck in the 90s of like, oh, well, they would never do that because their producers told them not to. So anytime someone actually includes diversity or representation, I am just so stoked out of my
Well,
mind.
and they build it up like as rivals, and then the kind of thing is like, oh, by the way, it turns out she's gay. Also, the whole fact that because the character is male in the series, and so they could have done a thing where they just don't have a skirt. But the fact they literally created a skirt just for so Izzy could rip it off.
which is iconic. She's a legend.
Oh man, that's just one of those moments like instantly became like she's like I don't do skirts.
Instantly my favorite character. That whole first fight scene with her, she's up in a tree, she's throwing a javelin because she's a javelin thrower. She's making quips about the monster, I just, oh my God, I love her so much.
Izzy, fantastic. Really, yeah. To the actress,
Tesseract.
we love you. Also, really, bringing a lot of these morphin history, everything that was awesome.
The whole thing with the Green Morphin Master, while it is a solid attempt to fill plot holes created by previous seasons, it is also clearly a band-aid. So I have mixed feelings about it. You tried, and somebody needed to try something because there were some serious plot holes, but it's also like it's a little tiny bit forced.
They did their best.
I mean, it's Power Rangers, and you don't have a whole lot of time to tell a story, so I
Yeah.
get it.
Then Cosmic Fury, which they cut the season in half, which is annoying.
If only, right? If Cosmic Fury had been 20 episodes,
I do remember seeing they announced there's going to be an Orange Ranger, and I'm like, let it be Fern, let it be Fern, let it be Fern.
I literally made a video after they leaked that there was going to be an Orange Ranger being like, look, people, don't get too excited because it's not confirmed. And I'm like, no, because if I get excited about this and then it doesn't happen, I will cry.
Yeah, same.
And then it did happen.
And the script read is so cute when they like announce like first Orange Ranger, and she's just like it's one of the kids where you had like a non-ranger who really needed to be a ranger
Yeah.
actually got to be the first Orange Ranger.
And I love how they did it too. I mean, her and Solon developing their relationship as friends, and she took the morpher because it's a gun, and she was just trying to use it as a gun. And then, she's a Solanosaurus, and it's
Yeah,
just adorable. Everything about it's adorable.
fantastic. And Izzy being super protective, just
Mhm.
super cute.
And
Like,
now,
sorry,
you
okay. It feels like a genuine relationship. Is all I was gonna say.
I really liked that actually because, again, a lot of times when you watch stuff, they go for the drama, not for the realism. And it would be very easy in that situation to write, Izzy's being too protective and then they had this big blowout argument. But instead, they went for Izzy's being too protective and then they discussed it like people in a believable relationship and came to a healthy resolution. And that, as an audience member, makes me feel like their relationship could actually last and do well. And that's how I want to feel about people who are in relationships in media that I'm consuming. I don't want to think they're going to break up next week because they have terrible communication skills.
Yeah, not everything has to be a soap opera. First American full design. I like the
Mhm.
suits. I think they're cool.
I've had a lot of people say because I made them without the thick like foam muscle piece because obviously I didn't know how to make that, so I just did like regular spandex tight stuff. I've had a lot of people say that really honestly, looking at the ones that I made, they realize their biggest problem with it is like that bit around the arm where you can see that like chest piece is sticking out away from everything else and is like really big and bulky. I feel like that may have been a mistake. I'm not entirely sure what they were doing there because they already had a sheet and a belt and I don't know. The whole like foam vest is odd, but I
Yeah.
do love the suit
Oh yeah,
designs.
yeah. The whole foam vest thing is it's a. I think also the fake muscles on the dudes. That was a.
It's it's kind of superhero-y more,
Yeah, I
I
think
guess,
it's
kind
on
of.
first female Red Ranger. Couldn't go to a better person like Hunter Dino. Definitely not that she had to, but it definitely felt like they set it up. Fact that she's like it could only really be her.
I think they developed it really.
Hunter Dino also means so, you can tell she was like, and it's interesting because we get to the later seasons and you get people that grew up with Power Rangers becoming Power Rangers. And
Yeah.
so it's a really interesting change. And if there are a couple actors, yeah, I grew up Power Rangers, different thing, now I get to be one. It's such an interesting because you can kind of see it in their faces when they're filming. They're like, oh my God. I'm legitimately among the greats, essentially.
I loved Cosmic Fury. I would have liked to have seen them since they were designing their own suits and since there were so many Zords available. I would have liked to have seen more Rangers on the team because I think that there was a lot of potential for Solon to be a Ranger and for Tarek to get a redemption arc becoming a Ranger, even though, I mean, like, sexy daddy, unmorphed fight scene, he's still badass without the suit, is magical. But Pop Pop. I wanted Pop Pop Ranger and Mrs. Akana. I wanted
Yeah.
Mrs. Akana to be a Power Ranger from the first episode that she was in, when she like bombed the bad guys with her drone to help the Power Rangers. Those four, like,
We could have had, yeah, it just would have been awesome to have just to, and also, Final Season of Ren, just a massive, like, full on.
yeah, whole, and I mean they have that one scene where Billy's there and Heckle is there as the like dark Dino Charge Ranger, and you get the whole everybody morphs at the same time, they're all in a row. And that just really drives home how badass that is and how good the cinematography is and the things they can do now with drones. I'm like, if you had had 12 people on the team, it would have been so awesome. It would have been insanely epic.
We'll wait and see. Hopefully, we get some new series eventually.
Rumor has it, new live action movie, which looks like it's just going to be another Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. So that'll be our third live action Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. I can't help but feeling like that is a huge mistake on Hasbro's part because you literally have the playbook of Saban made a live action Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, which as an action movie summer blockbuster is actually really good. But because people have expectations linked to the idea of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers,
Yeah.
it did poorly. So poorly, he sold the franchise.
Yeah.
So Hasbro's over here like, let's do that.
Well, I'm like, what about doing a space adventure in space? Like, people like space movies.
Oh my God. In
Do some cool
Space,
stuff with
Time
that.
Force, Wild Force,
Time Force.
SPD. If you brought back any of those, people
Yeah.
would go gaga.
Like,
Like,
there's like a bunch of them that you could do some, or actually Overdrive. Imagine Overdrive with like a proper budget. You could go full Indiana Jones on that, and that'd be awesome. I'm also biased. I love Indiana Jones.
oh yeah, amazing.
There's opportunities here.
You could also make new suits and just do Power Rangers, which is what I would do. Like, don't associate it with a previous season, just
Yeah.
associate it with the name branding of Power Rangers.
Honestly, that's
Design
probably the
your
smartest idea.
Because, I mean, people still, there's still brand recognition based off of just Power Rangers that people who only saw it when they were growing up and are more like casual fans would go see it. But also, you'll still have people saying, like, that's not my Power Rangers. But I feel like we can ignore them a little more and just be like, go away and shut up.
Yeah, exactly. And well, now we're at the point where you have
Yeah.
the Saban
Let's
Era, the Disney fans. Like, there's certain you're already separated. It's like we don't. I love my Morphin, but we don't always have to go back there.
seems redundant at this point. And I mean, we literally just had Once and Always, which granted is only 40 minutes, which that's another tangent. They really should have sprung for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
could have been just as rewatchable as like the 1995 movie if they had just given it a little more time. We need to stop redoing Mighty Morphin. It's done.
Here we're done.